Okay, it is time for the Unit 7 assessment review. So I have the online document that the virtual people have, and then I've also got my packet here, okay? So we kind of look at both things. Now the first section, you're solving the system of equations by graphing. You have two equations, you got to find the value of x, the value of y. Okay, so away we go. Well, obviously on the first three you'll need graph paper if you're on virtual. So get out graph paper. Pause it, get out graph paper. Okay, now here's number one. Solve the system by graphing. Here's your two equations. Y equals negative x plus 3 and y equals x plus 1. So you're going to make a table and put each equation on each side. Now your y's are by themselves, so you have your m if you put a 1 and your b right away. Makes it easy, okay? So slope, y-int. Slope, y-int. So slope's negative 1 over 1 plus 3 is a y-intercept. So I go up 1, 2, 3, and from there I go forward 1, down 1. And just 3 is good enough. Now you got to take a straight edge. You need your lines to look accurate. Okay. So there you go. Okay, y equals 1x plus 1, so 1 over 1, and then plus 1 is your y-intercept. So plus 1, and you go up 1, forward 1. Well, that's where they cross. Okay, up 1, forward 1. Okay, so there's your point. You need to tell what that point is, okay? Go to the middle. You're forward 1. You're up positive 1, positive 2. 1, 2. Okay, number 2. We have 2x minus y equals negative 5. 2x minus y equals negative 5. And then we have negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. Negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. So I make my tables. 2x minus y equals negative 5, and then negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. Now obviously the y is not by itself, so you can't do the MB. Now you can continue to write there, okay? I am going to use a piece of scratch paper so I can draw it bigger so everybody can see. 2x minus y equals negative 5, negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. So obviously the reason I'm putting this on here is because, you know. Okay, first off, plus negative 1 times y. You need to make your signs opposite, okay? Because you don't want that as a negative. So negative 2, positive 1, positive 5. Then I add 2x. I don't have x, so I put the 0x. Add 2x to that. Okay, 0 plus 2 is 2x, and then plus 5. Then divide by your 1. Okay, 2 divided by 1 is 2, plus 5. So MB. So the slope is going to be 2 over 1, so I reapply that 1 underneath, so my slope is a rise-run ratio, and then plus 5, okay? So I go to positive 5. Remember, not here. This is the y-axis. It's called the y-intercept for a reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then forward 1, up 2. Okay, take a straight edge, graph a line. Okay, the other equation had that same problem where the y wasn't by itself. So, apply a 1 there. Again, you got to do the opposite, okay? Positive, 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 okay? So minus 2x, make a 0x, and minus 2x there. 0 minus 2 is negative 2, and then plus 1. Divide by 1. Negative 2 divided by 1 is negative 2x, and then plus 1. MB. So slope, yn. So the slope is negative 2. I reapply a 1, so I have a fraction, then plus 1 is your y-intercept. Forward 1, down 2. They're definitely going to cross, but the question is where. My ruler's busted up. Okay, sorry for being off camera that long. So right there. What point is that? Well, you have to go backwards, so negative 1. Then you go upwards, so positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. So negative 1, 3. Okay, then the last graphing problem we have. Y equals 2x minus 1. Y equals 2x minus 1. And 3y equals 6x minus 3. 3y equals 6x minus 3. So I make my table. I put y equals 2x minus 1 there. 3y equals 6x minus 3 there. Here the y is by itself, so you got your m and b from the start. So slope, y-int. Slope is 2 over 1, and then minus 1 is a y-intercept. So minus 1. You go forward 1, up 2. So up 2, forward 1, up 2, forward 1. Okay. Okay, now on the other side, make a wall on your y. Now, you don't have the y by itself. You're close. So don't switch. Don't switch because you have a positive. You don't need to add or subtract anything. You go straight into your dividing by 3. So it's going to be 2x plus negative 1. Okay. Then a funny thing happens. So slope 2 over 1, negative 1 is your y-intercept. Okay. So negative 1 there. Already got a point there. Forward 1, up 2. Same line. Same line. Same line as IMS, infinitely many solutions. Okay, on the next 2 pages, you virtual people need to go to a notebook paper and make 8 boxes, just like I have here. Okay? Pause me, do it, and unpause me. Okay, solve by substitution. Okay? So, find a letter by itself. You're finding the xy crossing point here. This is the first equation. 2x plus 2y equals 38. 2x plus 2y equals 38. Then y equals x plus 3. Y equals x plus 3. Now, substitution means you should be able to find a letter that's by itself. Not there, but if I made a wall here, y would be by itself. It could be y or x. It doesn't matter. That's known as your base. This is what it's equal. You might want to apply a 1. Now you write your non-base over here. 2x plus 2y equals 38. The base variable is replaced. It is replaced with 1x plus 3. Now line up this equation. 2x plus 2 parentheses 1x plus 3 equals 38. Okay. Now, you got x and x, you can solve for x. So you distribute 2 to 1x, 2 to 3. It's going to be 2x, going to be 6. So drop your plus down, 2x, 6. Now you still have to add the 2x that was there. Now, the variables are on the same side, so you combine them. Add. 2x plus 2x is 4x plus the 6 equals the 38. Okay, then you're good. Minus 6, you get 32. 4 times x equals 32. Then divide by 4, x is 8. Now you're going to put 8 into one of these equations. Use the one where, look, we still need the y. So let's use the one where the y is by itself. So 1x plus 3. X is 8. So y equals 1 times 8. You can put a parentheses or not. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So 1 times 8, fine, just put it. 1 times 8 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay, number 5, we have y equals 2x minus 3, and then 3x minus 2y equals 5. So I want the substitution method used again. Okay, I do have a letter by itself. It's again y. Remember, it can be x just as well as y. So that's your base. Then 3x minus 2y equals 5 over here. I would make that a plus negative, okay? And y is the letter that we replace again, and we replace it with 2x plus negative 3. So you drop your 3x, then plus negative 2. Then a parentheses, put that stuff up above, 2x plus negative 3, and then equals 5. Okay, we have an x and an x, so we're going to be solving for x. So I distribute the negative 2. Times 2x times negative 3. So it's going to make negative 4x and 6. Okay, then you add the 3x that's in the front. Okay, so your x's, you would combine those by adding. So 3 plus negative 4 is negative 1, and then add the 6. Okay. Now you have it just at one single x, okay, with a times and a plus. So you get rid of the 6, take it out, minus 6. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. Then you divide by negative 1, and x is positive 1. Now find the y. Use the equation where the y is by itself. 2x minus 3. 1 goes in for x, okay? So y equals 2 times 1 minus 3. Now the y is by itself, so just drop it all the way down, okay? And just do the math. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So 1, negative 1. Okay, now you're solving by elimination. Now you're not getting the variable by itself. You're finding the x and y. You'll need the 8 boxes, so here's the next one. 6x plus 5y equals 39. 6x plus 5y equals 39. 3x plus 5y equals 27. 3x plus 5y equals 27. Elimination's where I line the columns up. Okay. Does that add to 0? No. Do these add to 0? No. But we have the same thing right there. So I just do a sign switch on the bottom, okay? Because these will add to 0 if one of them becomes negative. Okay, I don't need to multiply. So if I made that negative, then they'd add to 0. But then I have to make the 3 negative and the 27 negative. So 6 plus negative 3 is 3x. 39 plus negative 27 is 12. And you can take out the 0y, it's gone. Okay. So we have 3 times x equals 12. We just divide by 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, now to find y, I usually go with the top equation. 6x plus 5y equals 39. Now 4 goes in for x, okay? That's now times. So 6 times 4 plus 5y equals 39. Now 6 times 4 is 24, okay? Remember, you got to multiply first. 24 plus 5y equals 39. So, make your wall, you got a plus and a times. You got to take out the 24 by minusing 24. 39 minus 24 is 15. You divide by 5, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. 4, 3. Okay, number 7. 5x minus 9y equals negative 43. 5x minus 9y equals negative 43. Then we have 3x plus 8y equals 68. 3x plus 8y equals 68. Well, make your columns. Remember, that's a negative 9. See if anything adds to 0. That's 8. That's negative 1, so nothing's at 0. And we don't have the same or the same, so that's when we have to multiply by 3 and by 5. So the rest of this is times by 3. The rest of it, if you times 1 by 3, you got to times them all by 3. Same with the 5. Okay, so 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times negative 9y is negative 27y. 3 times negative 43 is negative 129. Okay, then you get 15x, 40y, 68 times 5 is going to be 340. Okay, now you may not have a 0, you still can't, 15 and 15, you at least have the same now. To have them add to 0, you make that opposite, then you'll have 0x, but then you have to make the 40 opposite, you have to make the 340 opposite. So I will take negative 27 and I will add negative 40, that's negative 67y. Then I will take the negative 129, add the negative 340, and that's negative 469. He's gone, okay? And then you just need to divide by negative 67. Okay, so negative 469 divided by negative 67 is 7, so y equals 7. Then solve for x. Use the equation, use the top equation, 5x plus negative 9y equals negative 43. So y is 7 now. Remember, that's 9 times y. Just times that, it's negative 63. So you have 5x plus negative 63 equals negative 43. Now you can solve for x, okay? Again, up here, what I should have done is circled that and put 24. Then it would have been 24 plus 5y equals 39. That's what I'd have done. Plus 63 plus 63, that's 20. And divide by your 5, and x equals 4. 4, 7. Okay, now the graph problem. If you're on virtual, I will send that document to you. Find the region that represents solution to the linear systems of equations. These are my two inequalities. They intersect And since they're inequalities, the solutions are one of the regions, okay? Not where they cross, one of the regions. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, C, D, my bad. Okay, so I put A, make a table. B, make a table. C, make a table. So A, y greater than or equal to 3x plus negative 2, and then y less than or equal to 1/2 x plus 3. So I pick a point in A, I'm going to pick that one. So you got to make sure you label it correctly or you're in trouble. So you're going forward, positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5. So x is going to be positive 5, and then you're up, positive 1, positive 2. Okay, so y is 2, and then I'll just put a times there, and x is 5. So just line it up. 3 times 5 plus 2, negative 2. You don't even need the parentheses if you don't want to. Okay, so I take 3 times 5 plus negative 2, that's 13. Well, right away we know it's not A, because it should eat 13. No. Okay, then B, I just rewrite the same inequalities. Y greater than or equal to 3x plus negative 2, and then y less than or equal to 1/2 x plus 3. B, I'll pick that one. So negative 1, up 1. So negative 1 is x, positive 1 is y. So y is 1, then I put negative 1. So 1 greater than or equal to 3 times negative 1 plus negative 2. So 3 times negative 1 plus negative 2 is going to be negative 5, so that's a yes. Positive is always higher than negative. Now let's see if the other side works. X is negative 1, so we line up the sign. We have 1/2 times negative 1 plus 3. Okay, let's find what 1/2 times negative 1 plus 3 is. It's 2.5. That's a yes. Good. B's my answer. That has all the double yeses. Okay, now story problems. You're gonna get if you want one notebook page. If you're on virtual, you want one blank page for each problem on these. Hardcover books cost $3.50 more than paperback books. $198 was collected from selling 20 hardcover books and 12 paperback books. Find how much each type of book cost. 3 units, hardcovers, dollars, and paperbacks. And if you're on virtual, you notice how they're in bold because I didn't underline them. And actually, if you're on virtual, this is number 10. I'm sorry. This is number 10. It's number 9 in the packet, number 10 on virtual. Number 10. 10 on virtual. Sorry about that. Okay, hardcover book. Actually, I'll just switch it later on the doc. Hardcover. Okay, so 3 units. So you set up your grid. So you got together. You've got how many units per unit and total. Okay. Now the 2 independent units are your hardcover and paperback. And then dollars total, dollars per unit. So your dollar total is $198. Now forget about 198, it's done. Now find me my non-money amounts. Well, your non-money amounts, you'd have 20 and 12 for each one. You can add those, it's 32. So we don't need this, okay? Now, the only other thing it says in the problem is $3.50 more, okay? So that means a hardcover, I put a plus 3.50. Don't just put $3.50. And when you have that plus, you don't need Y. Okay, you don't need y. You get by with the same letter, x and x. Okay. So now we times. So this is pretty straightforward here. I would take 12 times x, and that'd be 12x. This here, you need to put a parentheses when it has a plus like that. So you're going to take 20 times the parentheses 1x plus 3.50. And then you distribute, okay? You'll have a plus. 20 times 1x is 20x. 20 times 3.50 is 70, okay? So it's going to be 20x plus 70. And you just need, if you don't need y, you just need one equation. That's all you need. Don't make the cross. 20x plus 70 plus 12x equals 198. So remember, don't minus 12. Don't take out the smaller one. They're on the same side. You combine them. So that's going to be 32x plus 70 equals 198. Then I have just a single x, it's times and plus. 198 minus 70 is 128. We divide each side by 32, and that's 4. Now what do you do with 4? Well, you come up here, that's 4, and that's 4. We're going to get our two answers that way. So the paperbacks are $4. The hardcovers are 4 plus 3.50, which is 7.50. Okay, next one. At a football game, student tickets cost $3 each, adult tickets cost $5 each. The school sold 700 tickets. They made a total of $3,078. How many adult tickets, how many student tickets were sold? So again, if you're on virtual, you need to go to another piece of paper and make that table because you have 3 units. So you got together, how many units per unit, and total. So the two independent units, you got the student tickets and the adult tickets. Then the money total, money per unit. So the money total together is $3,078. Okay, then what's the non-money number you have? You got 700 tickets, but it's not student or adult, it's together. Now you need the X and you need the Y, because that's an equation there. So why don't you just make your cross, okay, because you'll need a system. Last problem, you didn't really need a system, okay, because you didn't have to use Y. With that more than, but more than's not an adjective here. Okay, now the cost per unit. Well, the student tickets are going to cost $3 and the adult tickets are going to cost $5. So we're going to take X times 3 and Y times 5. X times 3 is going to be 3X. And Y times 5 is 5Y. Again, you don't need to make parentheses like you did on the last one because you don't have that plus in there. And now you have your system. You have X plus Y equals 700. And then you have 3X plus 5Y equals 3,078. So you're applying the elimination method. That's 4, that's 6, you don't have the same. So you times by 3 and you times by 1. The rest of that's times by 3. The rest of that's times by 1. So it's going to be 3X plus 3Y. And then 3 times 700 is 2,100. The bottom you get the same thing, plus 5Y equals 3078. Okay, now you got the same thing here. Now to make them add to 0, you need to make this a negative. 0x, then that goes negative, that goes negative. So that's going to be negative 2y. And then 2,100 plus negative 3078 is negative 978. 0x, you're gone, okay? Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, and y equals 489. Okay, so you got 489 adult tickets. Now, you can put 489 into one of these two equations like you do on the regular problems, or you can look at this and say, okay, I know that we got 700 together. I know that one of them's 489, so to find the other one, we can subtract 700 minus 489. That'd be 211. And to save time in the video, that's what I'm going to do, okay? Now, next problem, number 11. Angie and Kenny play online video games. Angie buys one software package and 3 months of gameplay. She pays a total of $65. Kenny buys one software package and 2 months of gameplay. He pays a total of $50. Find the cost of a single software package and the cost of a single month of gameplay. So again, 3 units. So you got together, how many units per unit, and total. So the independent units are the software packages, and then the months of the gameplay, GP. And then dollars total, dollars per unit. Now there are 2 total costs, okay? You got $65 and $50. So you line up 2 equations down there, 65 and 50. Put them in the order they appear. Now cross them off. Now, if these have 2 numbers, every other box needs 2 things. So how many units? Well, you got one software package, 3 months of gameplay. And then one software package and 2 months of gameplay. So add those, you get 4. Add those, you get 3. We don't really ever use them, but now I'm out of values, okay? I run out of values, so this is just XX or SS, and this is just GG or YY. So again, to find the total, we take 1 times X. That's going to be 1X and 1X. And then 3 times Y and 2 times Y. If you want to put 1s, that's fine, but it's just 3Y and 2Y. It doesn't really matter. And those are the 2 equations, so we make our system. So 1X plus 3Y equals 65. And then 1X plus 2Y equals 50. Now look. If you add, that's going to be 2x, and that's going to be 5y, so that's not going to work, but you have the same thing here, so you don't need to be multiplying and writing the new equation, because if you make that negative, it'll add to 0. But then that goes negative, and that goes negative. So 3 plus negative 2 is 1y, and 65 plus negative 50 is 15. So that's out. So divide by 1, and y equals 15, okay? So go to your y's, put 15s. So the gameplay costs $15. Unfortunately, we don't have a value here where we can just take that minus 15. So I need to write one of the 2 equations, 1x plus 3y equals 65, and I need to put 15 in for y. So 3 times 15 is 45. So we now have 1x plus 45 equals 65. Okay. So minus 45 minus 45. 65 minus 45 is 20. Then divide by 1 and x equals 20. Okay, long video, I know. Number 12, how many ounces of a combination of 20% hydrochloric acid solution and 70% hydrochloric acid solution need to be mixed to obtain 20 ounces of a 50% hydrochloric acid solution? With all these percents, here's what we do. I take my lowest percent, 20% of, and then my highest, 70% of, then my middle, 50% of, okay? Well, we don't know what, the 20 ounces is with the 50%, so we have that, and then we have X, and we have Y, okay? Then we move the decimal, okay? So 0.20 times X, 0.70 times Y, and then 0.50 times 20, okay? Now, after that, you set up your tables, you don't label them, okay? You put 0.20, 0.70, 0.50. Then you put X, Y, and 20. And that's going to be an equation, but then I times it, okay? 0.20 times 1x is 0.20x, 0.70 times 1y is 0.70y, and 0.50 times 20 is 10. So you put 0.20x, 0.70y, and 10. And now you have your two equations. You just make the system out. X plus y equals 20. I do not like decimals on that bottom one, so I'm going to times by 100 on all these. All three of them are times by 100. That includes the 10. So 100 times 0.20x is 20x, 70y, and 10 times 100 is 1,000. Now you apply your elimination. Obviously, they don't add to 0. Obviously, nothing's the same, so I times by 20 and times by 1. Okay, so 20 times 1x is 20x. 20 times 1y is 20y. 20 times 20 is 400 on the bottom. Okay, it's going to be 20x. 70y, and 1,000. Add. But to have a 0, that would be negative. But then the 70 and the 1,000 go negative too. So 20 plus negative 70 is negative 50y. And then 400 plus negative 1,000 is negative 600. Okay, get rid of the 0x. Okay. Then divide each side by negative 50. When I divide that, I get 12. So go up to your y and put 12. So 12 is with the 70%. Now, to find x, look, what plus 12 is 20? Well, how about I take 20 minus 12 and find it quickly? It's 8, okay? 8 plus 12 is 20. Or you can put it in there, it doesn't matter, but it's longer. Okay, last problem, finally. The ratio of cats to dogs in the animal shelter is 5 to 2. Again, the ratio of cats to dogs in the animal shelter is 5 to 2. There are 63 animals available for adoption. How many of them are cats? How many of them are dogs? So I put 5 over 2 and label it cats, dogs, but then I make another line and add those two and 7. That's your total. That's the ratio. Now I make an actual. The actual number, I got 63 animals, okay? Now, so it's your total. So 7 times what? 63. Well, how about I divide 63 by 7 and find out? It's 9, okay? So that means you got to take the 2 and the 5 times 9, okay? So 5 times 9 is 45. 2 times 9, 18. So cats, you have 45 cats, you have 18 dogs.